In the beginning, there was only the sound of drums. The earth had yet to be made, and the great spirits of the north wind were restless. So they danced in the sky, and their movements created a mighty thunderstorm. And in the heart of that storm, a great bird was born. This is the story of how the Thunderbird came to be, and how it became the eternal guardian of the sacred skies. This is the legend of the Thunderbird. Deep within the belly of the storm, the great spirits of the north wind continued their dance. With each clap of thunder, the bird grew larger and more powerful until finally it emerged from the clouds, shaking the very foundations of the earth with its mighty wings. The winds carried the spirit's song across the land, and wherever the thunder boomed, the people looked up in awe at the magnificent Thunderbird. Its feathers like burnished copper against the dark clouds, its eyes flashed with lightning, and its beak cracked with thunder, announcing the arrival of a new era. From that day forward, the Thunderbird soared through the skies, protecting the people and guiding them with its wisdom. It was a symbol of power and courage, and its presence brought hope and healing to all who saw it. But many centuries have passed since the Thunderbird first thundered across the sacred skies, and many are those who have witnessed its awesome power. Yet few remember the ancient tale of its birth, the legend of the Great Thunderbird. Long ago, when the world was still very young and the Native Americans lived in harmony with nature, the skies were filled with all kinds of magical creatures. There were winged serpents that soared through the clouds, great horned beasts that roamed the heavens, and even giant birds that could blot out the sun. Among them was the Thunderbird, a magnificent creature with feathers like burnished copper and eyes that flashed like lightning. Now, the Thunderbird was not just any bird. It was a messenger from the Great Spirit, a being of pure light and wisdom whose very presence brought peace and tranquility to the land. But one day, a terrible darkness fell over the world. A great evil had risen in the mountains, and its power was slowly consuming everything in its path. The people were terrified, for they knew that if this darkness spread any further, it would destroy everything they held dear. As the darkness spread across the land, the people turned to the Thunderbird for help. They sang songs and told stories of the Great Thunderbird, hoping to summon its power and drive away the darkness. And their prayers were heard, for in the heart of the storm, the great spirits of the north wind were awakened. They danced in the sky, and with each clap of thunder, the Thunderbird grew larger and more powerful. And then, with a deafening roar, it emerged from the clouds and flew across the sacred skies. The Thunderbird swooped down and unleashed its mighty beak and claws upon the forces of darkness. The battle raged across the heavens, and the very fate of the world hung in the balance. Finally, with a last mighty clap of its wings, the Thunderbird drove the darkness back into the mountains, where it has remained ever since. And so the people rejoiced, for they had been saved from the clutches of evil. And in gratitude, they named the Thunderbird the eternal guardian of the sacred skies. It was a title that the Thunderbird wore with honor, and from that day forward, it continued to soar through the heavens, watching over the people and protecting them from harm. But the Thunderbird was not just a fierce warrior. It was also a teacher and a healer. With its wisdom and its power, it guided the Native Americans on their journey through life, helping them to overcome obstacles and find inner strength. It taught them about the importance of balance and harmony, and it showed them how to live in harmony with the natural world. For many years, the Thunderbird watched over the people, guiding them and protecting them. But eventually, it felt that they were ready to hear its message of wisdom and enlightenment. So it called the elders of the tribes together and shared with them the first stories of the Great Thunderbird. These stories were not just tales of adventure and bravery. They were messages of hope and healing, of courage and perseverance. The Thunderbird taught the people about the importance of facing their fears and embracing the unknown, of finding strength in adversity, and of never giving up in the face of hardship. As the elders listened to these stories, they felt a sense of peace and tranquility wash over them. They realized that they had been blessed to have the Thunderbird as their protector, and they vowed to pass on its teachings to future generations. With that, the Thunderbird dipped low over the horizon, leaving the elders to ponder its words. As they sat around the fire that night, they shared the first stories of the Great Thunderbird with the rest of the tribe. The people listened with rapt attention, and as the stories spread throughout the land, the memory of the Thunderbird grew stronger than ever before. Each time the people heard one of these stories, they felt a surge of hope and inspiration. They knew that they could face any challenge if they had the courage and determination of the Thunderbird. And so the stories continued to be told and retold, becoming an integral part of Native American culture. And as the years passed, the Thunderbird continued to watch over the people, guiding them and protecting them. It became a symbol of their strength, their courage, and their connection to the natural world. However, the Thunderbird's influence extended beyond the Native Americans. All who witnessed its majesty were inspired by its power and grace. Travelers who crossed the plains told tales of the great bird that soared above them, and hunters who stalked the forests spoke of the Thunderbird's presence in the rustling leaves. Even the animals were said to have revered the Thunderbird, for they knew that it was a creature of pure light and wisdom. And so the legend of the Thunderbird spread far and wide, becoming a part of the folklore of many different cultures. But as the centuries passed, the memory of the Thunderbird began to fade. The people forgot the stories their ancestors had told them, and the wisdom of the great bird was lost to the winds of time. Still, the Thunderbird continued to soar through the skies, watching over the world and waiting for the day when its wisdom would be rediscovered. For the Thunderbird knew that its message of balance, harmony, and enlightenment was needed now more than ever. Many moons passed, and the world had changed greatly. The Native Americans had faced many challenges, but they had never lost sight of their traditions and values. They had passed down the stories of the Thunderbird to their children and grandchildren, and the memory of the great bird had been kept alive. Then one day, a group of explorers ventured into the mountains where the evil had been driven back so long ago. They searched for the source of the Thunderbird's power, and eventually they found it. It was a place of great beauty and tranquility, and the explorers felt a sense of peace wash over them. They knew that this was the place where the Thunderbird had defeated the darkness and brought light back into the world. And so they declared this place to be sacred, a place where the power of the Thunderbird would forever be honored. The explorers returned home and told everyone what they had found. Soon, people from all over the world were journeying to the sacred mountains to experience the Thunderbird's power for themselves. They came to meditate, to heal, and to connect with the natural world. And as the years passed, the popularity of the sacred site grew. More and more people came to visit, and the local Native American tribes prospered as a result. But with the influx of visitors came a problem. People from all walks of life were coming to the sacred site, and some of them did not respect the peace and tranquility that it represented. The Native Americans knew that they had to do something to protect the sacred site from those who would seek to exploit it, and so they reached out to the government for help. Together, they created a national park to preserve the sanctity of the Thunderbird's home. And so the legend of the Thunderbird lives on. Its wisdom and teachings continue to inspire people all over the world, and its presence is felt in the hearts of those who seek its guidance. The Thunderbird is more than just a mythical creature. It is a symbol of the interconnectedness of all living things, a reminder of the importance of balance and harmony, and a testament to the power of the human spirit. As we look to the skies and see the majestic birds soaring overhead, let us remember the lessons of the Thunderbird and strive to live in harmony with all of creation. And that is the end of the legend of the Thunderbird. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos about Native American mythology. Also, be sure to check out our other videos, which are sure to inspire and educate you. Thanks for watching.